Hey, what's up guys, Patrick, and this is my guide on how to obtain the range version of the cape from Kiln. So there are 3 capes, one for each combat style. The way you get the cape is by dealing the most damage using the respective combat style. Since we're going for the range version of the cape, the setup and stuff I show in this video are going to be for range. If you want to know how to get the magic and melee cape, I have guides on those too, and they're linked in the description. On screen right now are the requirements. You need to complete the Elder Kiln quest, and if you've never done Kiln before, you need to give up a fire cape as a one-time payment. Here are the stats I recommend, which is 85 plus range, 85 plus defense, 70 plus prayer, and 67 plus summoning. This is my recommended setup, and when I put together these setups for combat related guides, I always use the most affordable, lowest level items you can get away with, because I want to make sure it's as accessible as possible. So this setup is not necessarily good, but it is good enough. If you have better alternatives, you should obviously go with that. You want to know if something's better, all you have to do is hover your mouse over the item and compare the numbers. Most of the things on here are self-explanatory as they're written on the side, but I do want to talk about a few of them. For one thing, there are going to be a lot of potential comments regarding whether dual wielding or a two-handed weapon is better. I know this because it's happened before. I say use whatever you're comfortable with, simply because they have different abilities, and it just makes more sense to use the abilities as you actually know how to use. You can use a Tokuzol for the ring slot, but Tokuzol is only better if it's charged. I also want to talk about the Sign of Life. Sign of Life is a tradable item that goes into your pocket slot. Basically, when you die, Sign of Life will revive you with 25% of your health. I highly recommend this over any other pocket slot item because you can easily waste at least half an hour to an hour doing Kiln, and stupid mistakes are quite possible. And finally, you can bring any combat-related ores if you have any. You can take your pick. You really don't need them, but of course, they do help. I know I said I like to show setups that are accessible as possible, but I felt I had to talk about this because this is by far the best armor you can use. First 5 items on this list make up the Obsidian armor set. When you wear it inside the Tsar City and any of its minigames, including Kiln, the damage you receive is reduced by 45%. It's not tradable. You have to get these shards from a minigame called Fight Cauldron, which requires a quest called the Brink of Extinction, and then you have to make it yourself. You want to use this armor for different combat styles. There's a helmet for each one, so all you have to do is change the helmet. Everything else stay the same. Now I'm going to talk about the familiar and inventory setup. You need at least a rune pickaxe to fight one of the monsters. You can use the one in your tool belt only if you have a melee weapon and the one in your tool belt has to be at least rune. I also have super prayer renewals for extra prayer points, grand potions to boost your stats, super stores for more prayer points, food and extra pouches to renew your familiar. I would suggest a familiar that can carry items, by the way, such as a war tortoise or a pack yak. You should fill it with food. I also have a fruit bat and fruit fall scrolls. Purposes is just in case you run out of food in your familiar. Fruit bat in combination with the scrolls will spawn fruit, which you can pick up to heal yourself. If you have 88 summoning, you can use the unicorn instead with healing aura scrolls. When you're inside the Kiln, at the end of every odd wave, one of these crystals will spawn in the middle. Numbers next to each one are what waves they spawn on. You don't have to remember that or anything. I'll remind you when we are actually doing the waves. But I want to take this opportunity to explain what they do when you use them. The invulnerability crystal will make you invincible against most attacks for 30 seconds. The restoration crystal will fully restore your HP and prayer points. Magic crystal will boost your magic up to 150% and lower your attack, strength, range, and defense to 50%. This will last for 3.5 minutes. The range and strength crystal basically do the same thing, except it boosts range and strength and lowers everything else. Constitution crystal is a little difficult to explain. It'll boost your HP beyond its maximum amount, and it'll stay like that and keep healing you for 3.5 minutes. Since we're going for the range version of the cape, don't bother with the magic and strength crystal. You can use almost any crystal whenever you feel need it. I say almost because you need to save at least one of the constitution crystals. It's important for one of the waves, and I'll remind you later on in the video. When it comes to prayers, you can use stat boosting prayers if you want to, and you should definitely use protection prayers or deflect curses. Even if you have soul split, protection prayers and deflect curses are actually very good to use here. And I'm going to quickly go over which prayer you should use against each monster. It isn't that hard to remember because you can tell which combat style they use just by looking at them. On screen right now are the monsters you should use protect from range against. These are the monsters you should use protect from melee against. These are the monsters you use Protect from Magic against. These monsters are labeled as Other because they use a different combat style, and there's a certain strategy to fighting each of them. On the far left, we have something called a dill. I'll teach you how to fight that when the time comes. In the middle, we have Jad. He's just like the Jad inside Fight Caves, except he has less health and no healers. So basically, he's easier. But you still need to prayer switch. And on the far right, we have Harkin, which is the Fight Kiln boss. I'll teach you how to fight him when the time comes as well. The entrance to Fight Kiln is located in the area marked here on this map. Right-clicking your Tokuzo, choosing Teleport, then Fight Kiln will take you straight there. I'm going to be showing you what to do for each wave right after this, so from this point forward, I highly recommend watching ahead a little bit before actually doing it, so watch the first few waves before actually going in. Right-click the entrance and choose Quick Play. You then get to choose how fast the monsters spawn in between each wave. Fast is really not that bad, but I suppose if you're nervous or something, you should probably go with slow. Somewhere around the southeast corner, you're going to find L-shaped rock. You're going to be using this rock for waves 1 through 4. Basically what you do is stand under it. All the monsters will come to you. There will always be monsters coming from the north. Do not attack anything until the monsters from the north get stuck on it. When you do get stuck, start with killing them first. Then kill the monsters to the west. And finally kill the monsters to the east on the other side of the L-shaped rock. An invulnerability crystal will spawn in the middle at the end of wave 1. And a restoration crystal at the end of wave 3. Get back under the L-shaped rock at the end of each wave. That includes the end of wave 4. Once again, you're repeating this process for waves 1 through 4. On wave 5, you're basically going to do the same thing, but I wanted to talk about wave 5 specifically because there'll also be a dill that spawns on wave 5. I told you earlier that I'll show you how to fight that when the time comes, but for some reason the dill is the only monster that doesn't come to you unless you get really close to it. But that's a good thing because it allows you to kill all the other monsters first before having to deal with it. So go ahead and kill all the other monsters first, then I'll teach you how to kill the dill. The dill is generally somewhere in the northeast corner. First thing you need to do is let it see you, and you need to lure it to the middle rock. Make sure it actually gets stuck. The dill has a heavy hitting special attack that protection prayers and the vulnerability crystal don't work against. In fact, prayers actually make it use the attack more, so turn prayers off completely. The dill has some armor on. You need to wield your pickaxe, then run back and forth between hitting the dill and a safe spot until the armor is broken. You can then switch back to your range weapon to kill from far range. At the end of the wave, get back under the L-shaped rock. For waves 6 through 9, you're going to do the same thing you did in the first 4 waves. No special monsters will spawn. At the end of each wave, get back under the L-shaped rock, and that includes the end of wave 9. A range crystal also spawns at the end of wave 7. On wave 10, there will be no monsters that spawn to the north. However, Jad will spawn to the west. He won't attack you unless you go too far to the west, so do that whenever you're ready. I said earlier that you fight him the same way as in Fight Caves, so you still need to prayer switch, but he has less HP and no healers. If you forgot how to prayer switch, if he stands up on his hind legs and spits a fireball, he's using a magic attack. If he picks up his front legs a little bit, then slams them into the ground, he's using a range attack. And after you're done, kill the ranger to the east and get back on the L-shaped rock. On waves 11 to 18, you're going to do the same thing you did in the first 4 waves. Constitution Crystal will spawn at the end of wave 11, Vulnerability Crystal at the end of wave 13, and a Restoration Crystal at the end of wave 15. At the end of each wave, get back on the L-shaped rock, and that includes the end of wave 18. At the end of wave 19, another dill will spawn to the north, and you're going to do the same thing you did in the last dill wave. Kill all the monsters around the L-shaped rock, then go north to lure the dill to the middle rock. Break its armor with your pickaxe and kill it from far range. At the end of wave 19, a range crystal will spawn and get back on the L-shaped rock. On wave 20, you get a mage and a Jad. Jad spawns to the west, and the mage spawns to the east. You can kill them in any order, but when you go west, be prepared to prayer switch. At the end of the wave, stand anywhere near the middle rock. On wave 21, there will be 12 meleeers. Wait until they gather around the middle rock. Lure them to northeast corner, then run around the rock to the south. If you do this fast enough, they'll all get stuck, and you can safe spot them from here. At the end of the wave, stand on the northeastern side of the middle rock. On waves 22 and 23, you'll have a variety of meleeers coming from all directions. Wait until the ones coming from the northeast start attacking you, and as soon as they do, stand up against this rock to northeast on the east side. It'll cause them to get stuck. Also, if you can, kill the small guys first, because if you kill the big guys first, the small guys will get through, and that kind of defeats the point of the safe spot. A Constitution Crystal will spawn at the end of wave 23. By the way, remember you have to save at least one Constitution Crystal, so if you don't have one, hold on to this one. At the end of both these waves, stand on the northeastern side of the middle rock. On wave 24, you get a bunch of mailers and one ranger to northwest. You can use the safe spot again, but you have to kill the ranger first. At the end of this wave, stand on the northeastern side of the middle rock. On waves 25-27, you have monsters of varying combat styles coming from all directions, so the safe spot isn't going to work. Do not move from the middle rock until all the monsters coming from the south side get stuck on the rock. Once they do get stuck, kill the monsters to the north, then kill the ones to the south. You want to kill the biggest threats first, which is basically anything that's attacking you, and start with the highest level monsters. At the end of wave 25, an invulnerability crystal will spawn, and at the end of wave 27, a restoration crystal will spawn. At the end of each wave, including wave 27, stand on the northeastern side of the middle rock. As soon as wave 28 starts, activate your Constitution Crystal and turn off all your prayers. 6 dills and no major going to spawn this wave, but the crystal will give you a lot of HP and keep healing you for 3.5 minutes, so you don't need a safe spot or even really worry about the damage at all. Just equip your pickaxe, break off all their armor, then kill them and the mage. Breaking the armor is the important part. 3.5 minutes should be enough time, but if the crystal runs out and you broke off all their armor but you didn't finish the wave yet, you could just try to safe spot them using the same spot you used before. They won't all follow you, but you can kill the ones that do and go chase the other ones when there aren't as many of them. At the end of this wave, stand on the northeastern side of the middle rock. On wave 29, you'll get a bunch of melees. Wait for the one coming from the northeast to hit you and lure him to the safe spot just like before. At the end of wave 29, stand on the northeastern side of the middle rock. On wave 30, there'll be 3 melees and a Jad. Jad ruins the safe spot for this wave, so just stay here and kill the 2 melees to the north. When they get close enough, go a few steps northwest and kill Jad, then kill the last melee. At the end of this wave, you don't have to stand anywhere in particular. On wave 31, there'll be 4 rangers. Just turn and protect from range and kill them. At the end of the wave, a range crystal will spawn and stand on the southeastern side of the middle rock. And yes, I said southeastern. On wave 32, there'll be 4 melees. The old safe spot is gone, but luckily there's still one more. Wait until the melee coming from the southeast attacks you, and stand up against the rock to the southeast on the south side. At the end of the wave, stand on the northeastern side of the middle rock. On wave 33, there'll be 1 mage coming from each corner, so a total of 4. Wait until the 2 to the south get stuck on the rock, kill the 2 to the north, then kill the last 2. At the end of the wave, stand on the northeastern side of the middle rock. On wave 34, when the melee gets close enough, kill him first, then kill Jad, and finally kill the ranger. At the end of the wave, stand next to the middle rock on the western side. On wave 35, this isn't a great spot to stand in, but at least you won't get ambushed by Jad. When they're all gathered around the rock and you're ready to fight Jad, come out of hiding, let the melee attack you, and kill Jad. Just be sure not to get too close to Jad, and remember, it's okay to let the melee attack you. After you kill Jad, kill the melee, then the mage, and finally the ranger. At the end of the wave, stand on the northeastern side of the middle rock. 36, there'll be 2 Jads. They should get stuck on the middle rock. Just kill them one at a time, and at the end of the wave, it doesn't matter where you stand. On wave 37, the final wave, you have to fight Harkin, which is the boss. First thing you notice is there are tentacles all over the arena. This is what he uses to attack you. You can kill the tentacles to prevent damage and build up your adrenaline, but that's not how you kill him. You kill him by attacking the head, but you won't see the head at first. It won't show up until 45 seconds after the start of the wave. It'll randomly spawn on one of the sides except for the north side, and it'll stay there for 27 seconds before disappearing for 45 seconds again. I like to set a 45-second timer every time it goes under. When the head appears, you obviously attack the head, but if the head isn't there, standing in the corner with the least amount of tentacles will allow you to take the least amount of damage. Or like I said, you can just attack them and build up your adrenaline and stuff. Problem with standing in one corner though is that you only can see two sides, so every 40 or 45 seconds you have to run out and look for the head. That's pretty much all the tips I can give you. Good luck, and I hope you guys found this video helpful. If you did, remember to like, favorite, subscribe if you haven't already. Catch you guys later. Peace.